NCAA Women's Gymnastics on the ACC Network. We've got a great matchup between the number 20 NC State Wolfpack against number 23, the Ohio State Buckeyes. And these two teams are going neck and neck. You can see there their NQSs just back to back. Both of them with extremely high home scores, which are actually not counted in their NQS. And so looking at replacing some of those lower scores, Ohio State really looking to replace one of those high scores on the road this evening. Good evening, I'm Rachel Garland alongside Sydney Sneed. And Sydney, I'm really excited for today's meet, but what are we going to be looking out for?
Yeah, I'm so excited. We have two very similar teams here tonight. NC State struggled a little bit last weekend, and Ohio State is coming off of their season high, so it'll be interesting to see how both of them perform tonight.
Absolutely. I'm super looking forward to watching both of these teams, both of them with Chloe Negretti and Ashley Knight, these two rock stars for the Wolfpack team.
Yeah, so exciting. We've seen Chloe Negretti multiple times throughout this season. Just a rock star and a rock, really, for this NC State gymnastics team. Also her senior night, which is really neat. And Ashley Knight, 97.5 on ball. We're not even surprised by that. Hoping that she comes in with a stick tonight like we've seen before. But again, really exciting for both of these athletes that have contributed to the success of this team.
And like you mentioned, Ohio State coming off of their season highs on all four events as well.
Yeah, that is a really big thing to keep an eye out for. Season high on all events. It was a home meet, so we'll see how they do on the road. But again, a sellout as well. First in program history. That's got to be exciting and just giving them confidence as they're heading into the postseason. Someone to watch for, Tori Vetter, that 39.5 all-around score. We're going to see some big gymnastics from her here tonight.
She has been so fun to watch all season, and they are led by head coach Meredith Civic. They're in her 8th season. You can see 2 straight NCAA regional appearances, and they are looking to make it a 3rd in a row for this young team that we actually talked to her before the broadcast. And that's one of the things that she highlighted was just all these underclassmen really stepping up to the plate. NC State led in her 8th season as well. Coach Kim Landris there, 6 straight NCAA appearances, and NC State coming off a rock-solid 2024 season as the ACC champions. So we are going to get started. Meg Adler is the leadoff on all 3 events that she does. NC State is going to take place on the vault. Ohio State will be on the uneven bars. And then again, NC State will rotate in Olympic order, so that's vault, bars, beam, and then floor.
Yeah, and you'll hear us talk about it on the broadcast, but we're starting to creep up in that postseason point. And so that NQS, those tiny details, those landings are what all of these athletes are going to be looking for throughout the night. Starting off with that Yurchenko full. One of my favorites to watch because she's such a great leadoff. You see that height she gets on the vault. She's consistent every time. And then just has that minimal hop right there. But notice right here, just the height and the block she's able to get. So close. It's almost like she's hopping in place. But again, that's going to be a really strong leadoff score for them.
A huge score for the junior from Chapel Hill. And the best part is we get another year with Meg next year. So super excited for her to be returning. As we jump right over to the uneven bars, this is Sydney Washington in the leadoff spot. And similarly, she also competes 3 events, and she is the leadoff on all 3 of those events as well.
Starting off with that nice Maloney down to the pack. Notice how her handstands are on top of the bar. That's something that the judges are really looking at, to be on top or within that 10-degree mark. She's able to hold it right there. Does a blindfold into that double tuck. It looked like a stick from here. Sometimes the angles are tough, but really solid routine to start off for Ohio State.
Absolutely, and that was a rock-solid routine. She went 9.775 last week. I feel like that was pretty close, maybe if not a little bit better.
Yeah, again, the judges want to see the handstands on top of the bar, that execution, which is that toe point, straight legs, extension throughout, and then stuck landings, which you will hear us say a lot throughout the broadcast.
Ava Myers, you see there, the freshman from New Jersey, really made an impact so far on this Wolfpack team, coming in and filling in a number of different roles.
I love the extension that she had from the round off to the back handspring. A little bit of pike down on that Yurchenko full, so that's going to be a deduction that we can see. We'll take another look, but look at the extension she has, all the way to the back handspring. Even throughout that full, just at the very end, a little bit of pike down, and then she did step over that white line. Not sure what the judges will take there.
The white line on vault, not a deduction, more just a guideline for the judges in terms of being straight behind the vault table, more of a directional thing, not like the white line on the floor exercise. So up in the second spot for the Buckeyes, this is Grace Walker. Walker did not compete as a freshman.
I was expecting to see a lot of red in the arena tonight because both teams, but I like how they went with white.
They went with the white. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Walker, just the sophomore out of Ohio, went 9.825 on this event last week. You see Sydney Washington's 9.85 and a strong lead off.
She starts out with that nice pike Jaeger for that release move. Does that pack down to the low bar. Notice how she did that quick switch change where she flipped directions. But so far, this has been a really beautiful routine to watch. That blind full on top. Just at that double tuck, a little bit of power, or she lost a little bit of power on that double tuck, so landed short. But I like the rhythm that she had. Very slow and easy. Looked like she was in a lot of control, which I like to see. Just that dismount, looked like she broke out a little bit early. So again, that's going to be a deduction for that chest down, step forward. But other than that, another solid routine.
So sophomore on the uneven bars, back to a sophomore on the vault, Lauren Wright.
Getting ready right here. That Yurchenko full had so much block and amplitude off of that table, and then it looked like the power just stopped a little bit on that landing, which is where that pike down and step forward comes from. But take a look, nice height all the way throughout, and then just at the very end lost a little bit of power.
She was really going for that stick.
She was, and sometimes when you do that, you break out early. So it's important to have that air awareness. We're going to see a lot of Yurchenko fulls, which are that 995 start value. So it's going to be, how do you differentiate from the rest of them? What makes you stand out?
And vault last weekend was the only event that NC State scored above a 49. So far the two scores coming in, Meg Adler and Ava Myers, both slightly above where they were at last weekend. So definitely want to continue seeing that trend going up. This is Carly Reitzel. You see there, the freshman out of Hillard, Ohio.
She starts off, it looked like from this angle, a little bit short on that first handstand, but does a straddle Jaeger down to that overshoot to low bar. Really great job reaching on those fingers. It looked like she was far away from the bar, so nice job there. And then does the double layout, is able to hold on to it, so nice routine.
Again, another one of those like hops in place, which...
Yeah, let's see this release move right here. You can see from this angle, she does a Jaeger, she's reaching, but
Definitely
she's able to hold
fingers.
on. Yeah, that's a neat angle to be able to see it at, because she was not coming off of that bar.
So a clean routine from Reitzel as we jump over to Krista Zoltovich, the senior out of Pennsylvania, who again, just so much power.
We're gonna see the Yurchenko full again. I really like that. That's been my favorite one so far. She just floated in the air, had so much control, and then was able to drop it into pretty much a stick, almost. We'll take another
Those
look
mats
here.
are so squishy. So for those new to gymnastics, there's a little bit of give in the mats, and so she doesn't really hop. She just...
Yeah, her feet didn't move. It just, yeah. she kept
She kept the toes down.
feet on that. Yeah, that's going to be a good score for NC State.
That will be a fantastic score. She went 9.825 on vault last week, and one of the higher scores in the vault rotation. As Ohio State is putting up some big numbers on the uneven bars as well. They went 49-1, again 49 on all 4 events last week in season highs overall. And this is our first look at the all-arounder Tori Vetter, another Hillard, Ohio native.
Starting off with that Tkachev. Notice how high she gets above the bar. That's what the judges are looking for. Love that overshoot to handstand. So far, it's been a really pretty routine. I'd like to see those handstands more on top of the bar, just to minimize that deduction, but does the full out and gets the stick. So I love the form, love that whole routine, but again, I think she had a couple of short handstands throughout, which is where I would imagine that they would deduct. So.
Well, she loved that routine, as noted by the facial expressions.
Absolutely, you can see there, just a little rushed on those, but makes up for it with that stuck dismount.
So 9.8 pluses all around as Ohio State is midway through their rotation. Chloe Negretti up next for the Wolfpack on vault.
We'll be seeing a lot of her tonight, but again, nice block off of the table. Always has that control throughout, which I love to see as well. And then just the slight hop backwards. Take another look here. She's able to get that block. And she honestly is able to break out of it. And notice just the extension, the line she has throughout. She doesn't budge at all, even with that form. So really pretty vault there. I know she's going to wish that she had gotten the stick on that, but still.
It's so hard to stick, especially when you have that much power to be able to stop it from going so far forward just on a dime. So again, scoring tower over on the right. You can see the grade out score from Lauren Wright for the Wolfpack team. Right now, that is the lowest score, so that'll be the score the team wants to drop. 6 will compete. The top 5 scores that count. And there you see Grace Walker's for Ohio State as well. So right now, Ohio State dropping a 9.825, which is phenomenal, as Mason gets set with her routine.
Yeah, so far they're on a roll in this bar lineup. We see that Maloney to Pat combination again. One thing I like about this bar lineup is just the control that they've had, that rhythm they've been right on throughout each routine. Just has the dismount left, double layout. Had too much power there, so takes that step backwards, but I always like to say too much power is a great problem to have, right?
Definitely too much rather than too little, so rather take that 10th step on the landing. So good routine out of Raider.
You can see from this angle. Notice the extension that she has from that high bar to the low bar and then back down again. Then does that double layout. Really nice routine.
All right, so we'll get our first look at this 10-0 start value out of Ashley Knight, the sophomore from Greensboro.
One of my favorite vaults to watch. Look at the height. Wow.
Oh, so
almost
close.
had it. That one looked extra high today. I don't know if it's because senior night or what, but wow. Take a look again right here. Huge block. Just makes it look too easy with that twist.
She almost had that landing.
She did. That one, again, these vaults are so hard to stick, but she's able to just break out and truly drop into it. So that's the 10-0 start value. That's going to be a high score for them still.
Tonight, the high score of the week last week with that 9.875. You see there Chloe Negretti coming in at a 9.85, so just that 1/10 scooch on the landing. So NC State's lineup is done. We do have an exhibition out of both teams. And Ohio State's going to finish up with Kate Parks. So again, a very young team for Ohio State. Lots of freshmen and sophomores within the lineup.
Yeah, and when we talked to Coach, she really mentioned how the freshmen have stepped up, and we've seen it. Take a look at his bar lineup. I mean, they're already at the 49-125.
So a new season high.
Right, it beats last week, and it's an away score. So they've got to be pleased with how this lineup is going so far. So far, so good on this routine as well. Nice handstand here. She's looking for a stick on that double out, and she gets it. Wow, they are pumped about that. I loved that bar routine. There was a couple of form breaks throughout that the judges, if they're picky, might take, but they just went through that bar lineup and really nailed all of their routines there.
A phenomenal job out of Parks. We're going to take a look at Reina Gandhi in the exhibition spot.
She does that tucked full right there. Got great distance from the table to the landing, which is really tough to do on vault. But notice how she just landed a little bit short.
So conclusion for NC State on the vault, a 49-125. It ties last week's score. So a fantastic job to start senior night. Ashley Knight coming in with a 9-9. So again, just that small shuffle of a foot. And then we've got Ashton that will be up on the uneven bars for Ohio State as Kate Parks comes in with a 9-9 as well. So Ohio State just crushing their last season high from last week. Another 10th on that, a 49-275.
Wow, we've seen some really good gymnastics so far tonight. So we said it was going to be a close meet and that these teams are very similar. And that's what we're seeing so far with the score. Nice double layout to finish off that bar routine. In that exhibition spot.
So Ashley Merritt, some tears of joy, of happiness as she finishes up her bar routine on that. So a couple of quick highlights as we conclude rotation number 1. We'll be back on the other side of the break with these two teams neck and neck.